What if North and South Korea reunified? A game changer for the world. Imagine this. It's the year 2050, and for the first time in over a century, the Korean Peninsula is finally one nation. The once heavily guarded Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, has been transformed into a high-tech business hub, connecting the former North and South. North Koreans, after decades of isolation, are now working in booming industries alongside their southern counterparts. The world is watching. Will this be the rise of a new economic superpower, or a chaotic and costly transition? Reunification of Korea is one of the biggest what-if scenarios in modern geopolitics. Today, we'll break down how reunification could transform the economy, what happens to North Korea's government and military, how the world would react, and the biggest challenges of bringing two divided nations back together. Let's dive in. 1. The economic revolution, a powerhouse in the making. Right now, South Korea is a global economic leader, home to brands like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG, and has a GDP of over $1.7 trillion. Meanwhile, North Korea's economy is almost non-existent, estimated at around $20 to $30 billion, due to heavy sanctions, isolation, and government control. If reunification happens, we could see one of the most dramatic economic transformations in history. Potential economic benefits: cheap labor, plus advanced technology. Why? Industrial boom. North Korea has a massive workforce, but they lack modern skills. South Korea has cutting-edge technology, but an aging population. A reunited Korea could become a manufacturing powerhouse, competing with China. Natural resources boost. North Korea has over $6 trillion worth of untapped minerals, including rare earth metals crucial for electronics and green energy. A unified Korea could reduce reliance on imports and dominate tech production. New trade routes equals economic expansion. A unified Korea would open direct railways and highways to China, Russia, and Europe. This could cut transportation costs and make Korea a major trade hub between Asia and the West. The biggest economic challenges. Reunification costs could reach $3 trillion. Rebuilding North Korea's infrastructure, roads, hospitals, industries, will require decades of investment. Germany's reunification in 1990 cost over $2 trillion, and North Korea is in far worse condition. Income gap could lead to social unrest. Average North Korean income is less than $2,000 per year. South Koreans earn over $35,000 per year. How do you merge two completely different economies without creating massive inequality? North Koreans lack modern work skills. Most North Koreans have never used the internet or worked in a market economy. It could take an entire generation to integrate them into a modern workforce. 2. What happens to North Korea's government and military? One of the biggest questions in reunification is what happens to North Korea's leadership and military. Kim Jong-un's regime would likely collapse. A peaceful transition seems impossible. The ruling elite in Pyongyang would resist reunification, fearing they'd lose power, or worse, face war crime trials. What about North Korea's nuclear weapons? North Korea has over 30 to 40 nuclear warheads. Who controls them after reunification? Would the world demand denuclearization? China, the US, and Russia would all have different opinions on who gets to manage these weapons. North Korean military, friend or enemy? The North Korean military has over 1 million active soldiers. Would they be integrated into South Korea's forces? Or disbanded, leading to security risks? 3. How would the world react? The reunification of Korea wouldn't just affect Koreans, it would shake up global politics and power dynamics. U.S. and its military bases. The U.S. has over 28,000 troops stationed in South Korea. Would a unified Korea still want American military protection? If not, it could weaken U.S. influence in Asia. China's reaction, friend or foe? China supports North Korea as a buffer zone against U.S. influence. A unified Korea could be seen as a threat if it aligns too closely with the U.S. and Japan. China could oppose reunification to maintain regional control. Japan's concerns. Japan and Korea have historical tensions. A stronger, nuclear-capable Korea could worry Japan, leading to more regional military buildup. 4. Cultural and social reunification. The hardest part? Even if the economy stabilizes and politics are managed, the biggest challenge might be uniting two people who have lived apart for over 70 years. Different languages and mindsets. North Koreans speak an older form of Korean with different words and phrases. South Koreans are heavily influenced by Western culture, while North Koreans have been exposed to only state-controlled propaganda. North Koreans have never used the internet. How do you suddenly introduce freedom of speech, democracy, and social media to a population that has lived under a dictatorship for generations? Germany's example. Reunification takes generations. When East and West Germany reunified in 1990, it took decades for East Germans to fully adapt to capitalism. And East Germany was far more developed than North Korea is today. The final question, would reunification be worth it? A unified Korea could be one of the most powerful economies in Asia, combining South Korea's technology with North Korea's workforce and resources. But the costs would be massive, both in money and social challenges. So, will we see a reunified Korea in our lifetime? Right now, the political divide is too deep, and Kim Jong-un's regime is unlikely to give up power anytime soon. But if change comes, whether through internal collapse, external pressure, or long-term diplomacy, a new Korea could reshape the world as we know it.